Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me for a few minutes. I need to actually get ready to invite people in. So it's gonna take me just a minute. Let's see. Okay, we got that. Lower this down. See what's going on here. Close that out. Close that out. And let's see if this works. I posted the link just now in Gold Prospector Space. Oh darn, Lee Hendrick's not going to be able to show up. Doggone it. Gonna miss the black tip dog shark. So hi Van, how you doing? Oh,
It's being live streamed.
I'm live streaming on YouTube. I haven't done this in a long time.
Hot damn, Sam.
I guess I can pull up I want to go ahead and let's see. I'm not going to be following. Actually, I should actually just close that out. Maybe I'll start another window real quick.
What? Where? When?
I'm working on it here. Give me a minute, man. I'm still brainstorming here.
Come on.
It's hurting. It's hurting bad, I tell you. Randy, Scotty, Tony showed up in the live stream already.
Oh.
Okay, I'm in conjunction with. I just pulled up YouTube. Diamond and Silk are also live right now. So if y'all don't want to watch me, you can watch Diamond and Silk.
That's weird.
Let's see. Okay. Now I'm probably gonna have to. Scotty, Tony. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute that. So there's quite the lag time. But I'll be able to read the comments, I think. Live. Oh, we're gonna admit Rock Butcher here. So let's see. Let's see. Vernon Red Bailey. Who the heck is Vernon Red Bailey? Not sure who he is. Vernon Red Bailey. So I guess my big topics tonight. There's Colin. Hey, Colin, how you doing? Okay, I guess I can also post a link. Oh, I can also post a link in YouTube as well, right? So I gotta find my Zoom link. Oh shit, where's it at?
I don't know. It's not my.
Ray being brilliant here. I mean, look out, folks. I mean, this might be painful for everybody.
There's Jared. He knows.
Yeah, Wheeler knows it. Hey, just because he's a moderator on everywhere else don't mean he don't got shit over here.
I don't know everything.
He don't know nothing, man.
I know nothing.
He knows nothing. Okay, now that I've got up there, I can pin that at the top, right? Pin the message. Bam.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so now I've just got to be able to somehow or another pay attention to when somebody wants to get in and when somebody's not getting in.
Yeah, there's a chatting. We'll have to talk about this sometime.
Brewer Prospecting showed up. He's all laughing. He's like, "Oh shit! Here's a hey, there's BMXer. There's a BMXer dude. I haven't seen him in a long time."
What's up, Don?
There's another reason why I kind of
How
wanted.
come? I thought you said is Rock Butcher in here?
Oh, here he comes right now.
I see Ed on too online
Here he
to
comes now.
Prospector Space.
So
Yeah, Ed said he
Yeah.
didn't see the link, so we'll see if he joins us here in a second.
Hey guys.
I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't actually gone live on YouTube in a long
That's
time.
another reason why I kind of
How
want
come, I thought you said, is Rock Butcher in here?
I'm here now.
I just admitted him.
that on too online.
Yep. So my two big topics tonight is I might have figured out a logo. Maybe.
That's cool.
More than just a pan. More than just a pan. I mean, realistically, Ray Russo and Juneau, Alaska, and that right there is more than just a pan. I mean, to think of how many things that this has done for me.
Starting to scare me, Ray.
A gold pan is a lot more than just a gold pan.
What else do you use that pan for, Ray?
If you have one,
I panned gold in this one today.
if you had the original ones made out of steel, you could do even more with them.
I've
Rabbit
actually,
stew.
I've actually end up using steel ones for decoration and give them away.
Let them rust up, do some patina.
I bought my first gold pans ever from the hardware store on Main Street in Dawson City, Yukon. That was
Oh,
about
one pan. I'll be
about a
darned.
big, it's 14, 16-inch pan, and then I bought a little 8-inch concentration pan.
I'll be darned. My gold pan since day one really has always been these darn plastic pans. Always has been. I mean, I've had the metal pans, but actually, for some reason, I suck at using a metal pan. I use a metal pan, I'll lose gold, but
Yeah.
that plastic one, I'll get 200 mesh gold out of it every time.
Yeah, that's the difference for sure. One of the coolest pans I ever used was down in South America. It's called a batea.
Yeah,
And it's
pan.
it's a
I don't know. I'm not.
It looks like a wok.
Yeah.
It looks like a wok, and it's got two heads, but it's carved out of a solid piece of wood. And so all the chisel marks around the inside where they scooped it out, they work like riffles. And so you fill this thing up and you just stick it down in the water, and then you swirl it around and around and around in circles, and you keep it submerged the whole time. And you just keep everything agitated, keep swirling it. And man, it's the cat's meow. You get down to the bottom, you just got a little bit left, and there it is.
There.
I have one of those Rock Butcher by XP. I haven't played with it yet, but I plan to.
I think the
Imagine
trick
what a
with
wood
those,
one would be. A wood one would be
Yeah.
pretty neat. I've never used a wooden one.
yeah, solid wood and actually hand carved with the marks from the curved chisel or whatever you call it.
You're gonna have to make me
They
get
used
my
to
layout.
hollow it out.
My wood lay.
Hey, Rock Butcher, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Since you're like new to the whole community, it seems like you've become like a social butterfly to a lot of these channels and stuff. Is that like a new thing
Welcome.
to you, or?
Yeah, no, I kind of got into got following a couple of them, and then just listening to them sort of thing, they've said, oh, and here's another great channel that's like this, another great channel. Like I don't know if you've heard my background.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty familiar with it. Maybe some of these other people are not.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Okay. So like I'm a geologist by profession, geochemist actually, and I've been doing it for 32 years. About 60% of that's been underground. About 40%'s been on surface, and I've worked all over the world. And I really, really love the opportunities I get to work with prospectors. And I mean, I love going out there. I live vicariously through you guys because now, most of my time is spent doing administration and logistics and that kind of shit. And I get to watch you guys going out and doing all the shit I used to love doing as a kid, So the thing is that, yeah, that's why I'm here. And I want you to just, all you guys to understand, I got total respect for you. You guys are the cornerstone of the mining community. every mine in North America, it's a prospector that found that thing first. And whether or not he found the mother lode or not is a different story. But
Right.
you know, he's the one who, or she's the one who directed people onto it. And I've worked with lots of prospectors in the field, and I just love doing it. So I'm here because I enjoy it. I love the industry, and I love the work. And heck, if I wasn't being paid to do it, I'd be out there panning every day anyway.
I felt
Yeah.
a little awkward, but I actually went to a tourist attraction that is actually the Sheep Creek mine that they're trying to rebuild and make it a tourist attraction. And they actually got a 3-stamp stamp mill up there, and he's got it hooked into electric power.
Right on.
Turn it on and
Bonk, bonk,
boink,
bonk,
boink,
bonk,
boink,
bonk,
boink,
bonk.
boink, 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 boink,
Yeah,
boink,
yeah,
boink.
yeah.
I mean,
Right
he's got him an underground rock truck. He's got him an underground rock truck. He's got him a small electric train. He's got him a little small diesel train.
Hmm.
And he's slowly but surely going to get all this shit all back, at least within exhibit. And if he can, he'll make them run.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I went down there. That's who I painted the bus for just not too long ago. I painted the bus real quick, like.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the same owner. It's got this tourist company, the M&M Tours. That's why I'm painting all these weird colors, because they kind of look like M&M.
M&Ms. Yep.
And I didn't really have anything to do today. This is the first weekend I've had off with no real stress in a long, long time.
Mm.
And it's like, you know what? I'm going to go down there and check it out. And Eden West, Mark Miller. Hi, Mark Miller. Who's Eden West?
Eldon.
Oh, Eldon. Whatever. I couldn't spell it anyways.
Your English not so good.
My English not so good, man. I'm surprised Billa ain't in there too. He always making comments. Him and M&M's, yeah. You know, Jeff, he's not around either.
Yeah, that's cool, Rock Butcher. I mean, I've had just a little handful of conversations with you, and you're like a wealth of knowledge in every one we've had. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did find out why
help.
Big Fat Steve passed away down there on Howard Lockwood's claim today too. He had a damn brain aneurysm.
Oh no.
That was back in January. All of a sudden I was watching Facebook and it's like, here's Big Fat Steve. They said he was dead. And it's like, what? He's over there at Howard's claim. Talked to him about 3 or 4 months before that. And sure enough, there in January, he dead. I was driving because I had to drive past Howard's claim to get up to Roger Kibbe's claim. And there was smoke going. It's like, well, shit, I'm going to pull over and find out who's there. What are they doing? And sure enough, is another old boy that I've known for a little while. I don't know his name. I don't know him very well, but I've known him. And we all chit-chatted back and forth. And I told him, I said, man, I got to ask, what the hell happened to Steve? Because Steve was a good 6-8 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out there January 4th using that little Bobcat excavator and getting around. He was walking around and doing something on it, maybe moving snow or whatever. And they looked out there and he was all slumped over in the bucket. They walked up to him and they looked at him and his eyes were all wide and kind of wonky. And Steve, Steve, Steve. And he kind of closed his eyes and they shook him and he opened his eyes again and kind of looked around and closed his eyes. And that was it.
Wow.
That was it. He had brain aneurysm just right then and there. They went ahead and they called 911 and paramedics came, got him, took him to Bartlett. Bartlett says, dude, we got to get him up to Harborview. So they put an air ambulance and sent him to fucking Harborview up in Anchorage. And a week later, the Harborview called down there. It's like, this guy's dead. This guy's brain dead. and a fucking huge brain. He had 3 different brain aneurysms in his head, and just like that, just boom, dead.
Well, he went doing what he loved to do.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was actually out there mining. I
Yeah.
mean, he was living. I thought, for the longest time, I was kind of under the impression that he might have been in his little truck camper, and maybe got carbon monoxide poisoning.
That does happen. That's common.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But come to find out, it actually wasn't carbon monoxide poisoning. It was damn. I mean, he's a big fat fucker. I mean, if anything, I would have thought of, maybe a heart attack.
Heart attack or something.
Yeah, but no, it was a damn brain tumor, or not tumor, but brain clot, aneurysm. You know isn't that what an aneurysm is? A brain clot.
It's when the vessel explodes, it bursts in your brain.
Okay.
Yeah, my uncle died of that. Yeah, uncontrolled bleeding in the brain.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly. I don't know. No, I mean, damn sure. If you're sick, don't call me. I am not Dr. Ray.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about doctorisms. I can claim to know a lot of things, but brain surgery is not one of them.
That's it. Eat less salt, man. Eat less salt. It runs in my family, the high blood pressure. Hey, I've got to really watch my salt intake. And that just doesn't mean you can't eat steaks and burgers and that kind of stuff. It just don't shake salt on it. You know what I mean?
Well, I sure like it when my wife eats salt.
Well, Ray, it's questionable if I'd even let you be my body man, let alone my brain surgeon.
So Wheeler, is there such a thing as making a co-host, another co-host on this? Or not?
Yes, but you have to do it from like the zoom.com website itself. I don't think you can
Oh.
do it from the meeting itself.
Can't do it from the meeting itself, huh?
Darren,
Yeah.
who's the dude holding the big gold of rock? The rock of gold.
I don't know. It's just a funny picture I found. I think when I originally found this picture, I was like, it's like when you find your first flash in the pan.
Like
Yeah.
found the gold Easter egg or something,
Oh, Ed already took off, huh?
No, he's still there. He's just muted and camera off.
Oh.
Coffee time.
Yeah, I was actually paying more attention to the actual YouTube chat. It doesn't show Ed up on it. But yeah, the more than just a pan. I mean, realistically, that's I think is going to be another one of the series I'm going to have to work on. But before I work on that series, I have got to get a copycat or a close proximity to that goddamn Windows 7, because I don't have a video editing software right now that I understand. I only understood Windows 7. That's all I ever known. And I've tried different ones. I've tried that DaVinci, and I've tried oh shit. I tried Vimo, but I didn't get into that one at all. I did the trial version of Camtasia. I didn't like that. I don't like the Windows 11 one. So I've got to figure out somebody that's got a damn video editing that's just like the old Windows 7 Movie Maker. Hey, that stinky old ogre showed up.
It looked like in a resale shop, right, or something. You need to find one brand new, but old school, vintage. I've seen them come up online, dude. They sell them. People put them up there.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
don't think I
could
I
run
don't think-
you could run like a virtual machine of Windows 7 if you don't actually have a copy.
They do still sell the vintage stuff, is all I'm saying. I mean, if you actually Google it.
You guys
And you
might
might
have to
find
bullshit-
one brand new in the box, man.
You guys are gonna have to
Not open.
bullshit amongst yourself for a minute. I'm gonna need another spinny break. So
All right.
you guys are gonna have to bullshit amongst yourself for a minute.
Where's
So did you get a pump yet then, Randy? Scotty Tony?
Not yet. I ain't been out, man. I've been doing daytime, all my service calls, plumbing, electricity calls for
I
corporate,
feel
and
guilty
then-
because I actually did find it like I told you, and I'm like, well, I'm not even using the damn thing.
And then nighttime I've been painting them 7-Elevens again. The diesel the yellow safety yellow billiards is like 16 and one tow road, then you gotta go across the street, paint 16 more and then call it a day. I didn't get home till like 11. All this week's been rough, but I'm trying to get them done before it gets hot.
Yeah, I worked for a guy that just kind of did like just little side jobs and stuff, and we had to paint some of those ballards some one time, and
This
it
is
was
side
just
work.
weird.
It's through the company, but it's I still get my salary, and plus now she's giving me per store. She's giving me just cash Zelly pay. So I'm like, cool, tax free. She's making money off of it. So we got involved sky decks. You see me, I put a pitch on there on that lift, painting them big old long ass posts. That's 7-Elevens. But I'm on the ground too, doing the yellow ones, the easy ones. But only thing sucks, oil base, man. That's the only thing sucks. And it's not Rust-Oleum because you can't find Rust-Oleum right now in Menards or Home Depots or even Sherwin-Williams. This is that Conco shit, and it's pretty good stuff, man. It's thick, man.
What about you, Vandal? What are you up to tonight? You got any show and tell? Are you working on anything or?
I'm just surprised I'm still awake.
That
Right?
makes two of
Weather.
us.
Nah,
Oh, you go to bed really early, man, bro?
yeah, I get up at like dark 30, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's my dad right there.
Get to work. I gotta be to work by 5:30, and I got like a 45-minute drive to get to work. So
Mm.
God,
Okay.
waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning would be absolutely impossible for me. There ain't no way on freaking earth.
My dad gets up at 3 a.m. without alarm clock, man. Gets up and starts his coffee pot. I'm like, Dad, you're retired. Go back to bed, dude. Because I can't.
His internal alarm clock, Stroudy.
Huh?
Well, that's not entirely
His-
true, Ray, because like when you were in Greenland, wasn't it like 2 p.m. or
Oh,
2
yeah.
a.m. Alaska?
Screws you all up.
Well, that
Yeah.
was different. That was different. Even in Greenland, though, I would kick everybody out of my tent. I'd kick all the producer people and the camera people and everybody else that wanted to fucking bullshit with me. Get out of my fucking tent at 11 o'clock. And then I'd wake up, once I was acclimated to that time, I'd wake up 5 o'clock in the morning every fucking morning.
Yeah.
means-
Once you get used to the time zone, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That means Ray don't wear underwear, man. Get out. He's gotta go to
Yeah,
bed.
I don't either. Like, motherfucker, and don't knock on my door in the morning. I was always smart.
That's my dad, dude.
It's actually kind of one of those things I've learned that it's kind of weird. Most people don't like the idea, but I always make certain I fill my coffee cup full of coffee before I go to bed. That way I don't even have to wait on coffee. I can walk out there, fire for a cigarette, and take a sip of coffee, even though it's cold. I drink my first cup of coffee is almost always every morning cold.
You're crazy.
A couple
That's
of times
crazy.
those fuckers tried to knock on my door and open the door first thing in the morning. It's like, don't you even fucking think about talking to me till I had this coffee. Don't even go there.
Ray, I can't imagine doing that job because with all those people hounding me with cameras and stuff like that, I mean, there's enough stuff to worry about dealing with production
Yeah.
than to have a bunch of panty waist, flippant people
It really
running around
wasn't
with
that
cameras and
bad.
shit like that.
Fortunately,
It would drive me up the fucking wall.
fortunately, I've done enough management at the body shop, and actually, you have to have a really high degree of customer service when it comes to people when they crash your car.
Sure.
It's actually one of the first things my dad taught me when I got into into the car business is he told me, son, when that person walks in this, as soon as they walk in here, know in the back of your mind that they are upset.
Mm-hmm,
A person spends the most money on two things, a house and their car.
mm-hmm.
And their car is their love. They love their car. And their car just got a bad owie. He said, the first thing you need to do before you even talk about their car is establish how they are mentally
Mm-hmm.
and put them at ease. Say, look, it's just a car. How are you? I mean, You know, we can fix a car. I'm not a factory. I can't put it back to factory original, but I'll do the absolute best. Your car is either fixable or it's going to be junk and it's going to get totaled. He said, but be up straight and up front with them and just try to get them to calm their ass down.
Mm-hmm.
And so over the years, I've had to deal with that so many times when I'm dealing with strangers, like on that TV show. I just got to go, okay, that's their mental attitude. They're going to be like that every fucking day.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know,
He's like, I'm not
they're-
getting kicked off the
'cause-
first week.
Because they're all keyed up. They're all keyed up. But they got a job to do and they want to do it.
right.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I get it. I get it.
And it was you know, fortunately, I've just had the training in my life. I'm just fortunate to have had the training in my life. By the way, Ed, I know you're listening here. You can't really call me Hollywood. I already got fired.
He's a
I'm
retired
not- I'm
celebrity.
really not Hollywood. You can't call me Hollywood Ray because no, they already kicked my
He
ass
gets
out
a-
of it.
He gets
I
one of them
never
walk
made it to
the,
Hollywood.
one of them gold stars on Hollywood, man.
No,
There
it
wasn't
ain't
enough
happening.
drama on you. There wasn't enough drama on your mine site, I suppose.
Oh, there was plenty of drama.
Oh,
You
I
have
know
to
there
watch
was.
it. You have to
I
watch it.
have.
I
I
told
have,
you,
but-
Ray, to clothesline that kid, man. You should have clotheslined him in the
Oh,
beginning.
did you actually
That would've
watch it,
made-
Rock Butcher?
Yeah, I've been
Ratings would've
watching
boosted
the
up.
episodes on YouTube. So,
Right on. Yeah, there was plenty of
Well,
drama.
we all got spanked in the last week. We all got spanked. Every one of the cast members that got spanked, and we were all threatened with a lawyer.
really?
Yeah, take
Oh.
down any YouTube links to Frozen Gold.
Huh.
Oh, so Ellie got popped?
Well, they're
Yeah,
still out
Ellie
there.
got popped. Basically, I bet you dollars to donuts. The twins threw a fit about Ellie posting, and then they threw big enough fit that the lawyers started getting involved. And so that's when the lawyers went ahead and contacted Ellie and all the rest of them said, shut anything down.
Wow.
Signed an agreement.
Yeah, I thought
saying-
that was a bad idea. I was like, because you were worrying, wondering how you could do it and everything, and I told you the means of how you could do it, but I suggested otherwise, and then all of a sudden Ellie started doing it.
Yeah. And she was doing full episodes, uncut, raw, you know.
Yeah, that could get you in trouble there.
Yeah. And that's exactly what she got in trouble. And as soon as she did it, that's when the lawyers got involved. And the lawyers like, I told him, no sweat off my balls. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right.
I took them all
These things
down,
are-
you know. I don't care. I don't really care if I'm on Hollywood or not. What I was after is I wanted to find the stupid gold, but I didn't find it.
Mhm.
I'm a sucky miner, man.
Nah, you're the only miner that was there.
Not necessarily a sucky miner. You're just mining in the wrong spot. That's all.
Mining with the wrong people too.
Well,
Too
I
much-
got a feeling the gold
it's
is
not-
there, but
Babysit too much,
I was
you
in the
know.
wrong spot where the gold was at.
You had too much going on. You couldn't concentrate on just finding gold. You had to worry about him, her, what's going on, with my sloughs, all that stuff.
Yeah, Rock Butcher, I want to revisit this. Last time you, Ray, and myself talked, you talked about like a hammer type
That was a
test or something.
seismic reaction.
Yeah, like a
We're talking about
Yes. Yeah. Seismic testing. Yeah.
seismic mapping. Is that what you called it?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Seismic. It's a refraction thing. So you set up lines depending on the way. Okay, you get your theoretical. You understand which direction the stream bed is pointing. So you'll set up your little microphones perpendicular to that, and in lines across it. And there'll be, maybe the lines will be 100 feet apart or something like this. And then every one of those individual microphones, they're all strung together on a cable, and you drive them into the ground, and they're all connected up to a computer. And so are you asking for an explanation of how it works, or?
Yeah, because I think the last time we talked about it was a private Zoom, so only that was in that Zoom will know what you were
Okay.
talking about.
Okay, so what happens then is you go across the area where you're interested in looking at, and you basically take a 1 foot by 1 foot or 8 inch by 8 inch metal plate, doesn't matter. slap it on the ground, and get on the radio and say, okay, I'm gonna shoot, because normally you say shoot because it's usually an explosive charge, but you're going to use a hammer charge. And they'll say, the guy on the receiver will say, okay, go shoot, bang. And you take that sledgehammer and just hammer that steel plate. And he'll say, stand by. And what happens is the vibration from the hammer strike will pass down into the rock, and it will reflect off of
Like a
different
ping.
layers. It's like a ping. It's like a sonar ping.
Right.
And it reflects off of different layers, even in the sediments, and then down into the bedrock. But it'll go into the bedrock. And so all of these different microphones will all get that ping at different times. And then based on that, the computer models what's directly underneath that plate.
Search, Jaron. Data.
So then, you pick your plate up and you move 25 feet up on the line, and you put it down, and bang, you do it again, and you'll do that all day for a couple of days. And you'll actually generate a 3-dimensional map of what the bedrock interface looks like.
How much does that cost to do it one time? For like small miners?
I don't know.
It wouldn't be for small miners. It wouldn't be for small miners.
Well, yeah, you could.
Just say if you got one or two spikes.
Like, I got a buddy. That does it. He probably. It's not going to be small money. It'd be, I'm guessing, maybe on a small scale, maybe 20,000-25,000 bucks.
So for the average prospector that's out here, they're like
that's totally
$50 in gas to go get $5 in gold. So
dude, I totally get it.
But I know what you're saying, and in Ray's case, it could have been very well for the show. That could have been implemented very easily.
Exactly.
Cheaper than sending diesel and digging.
That's
it.
It's another reason why the show failed is these are the things I just didn't know and I didn't think about, because they actually gave me a grocery list. They gave me the ability to make a grocery list before I went there.
Yeah.
Like 2 months prior. And I made the grocery list based on what I could probably find here in Alaska. Having no idea that none of that, there was a lot of shit that would be normally here was not even close to available there.
Yeah. And on top of that, like, you know what, if my buddy, it's all who you know, right? So like, if my buddy that does these seismic surveys, if he wasn't busy and it was just you and me, Ray, and him and a couple guys or whatever.
Right. Then
I said, you know what, this is going to be, we're going to need, 20 microphones, and it's going to be a 2-day job. We'll pay for you to fly out. We'll pay for you to fly back. We'll buy you a couple bottles of vodka, and we'll throw the steaks on the barbecue.
But see, without that infrastructure,
it might only cost you $5,000.
Yeah, without that infrastructure, you still, when you don't know ahead of time, it's impossible to set something up.
Sure.
And it'd be cool to have one in the garage, man.
And it comes back to the producers of that show. They didn't do enough homework before they sent you out there.
No,
and
the producers of the
They
show,
never do.
Jaron.
They're fucking television producers.
Yeah,
what
they
the hell
weren't
do
in
they
that
know
show.
about finding goddamn gold mines?
They care
They
less
don't-
about
they don't
finding
know.
it like it gold.
well,
I've
and
been-
I honestly think they expected me to fail 100%.
And if you would have found the
So
nugget,
which was contrary to what, because not only was Travel Channel paid it, or not travel, but
yeah, I was gonna say you're not that big. Slow down.
Weather Channel's the one that paid
You
it to
did.
go there. But the other major contributor, which was counterintuitive, the other major contributor was the Greenland tourism industry.
Sure.
So Weather Channel is trying to go, oh my God, gloom and doom, fucking climate change, Greenland's falling to shit. We don't want, we don't want these people here to mine it all out. And yet the Greenland tourism industry is going like, oh, dude, Greenland's beautiful. Come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it benefits both, but
So they kind of fought against each other.
Yeah.
They kind of fought against each other, in my opinion. And they're talking about having a second season. Well, unfortunately, the cast members and the way everything worked out, there's no way they're going to sell a second season. There's
so
no
I'm saying
way.
if you would have found couple big nuggets and a
Now, if
bunch of
we'd have
gold,
found
you
a
would have had a
shit ton of
second.
gold,
Yeah.
if we'd have found a shit
Everybody
ton
would
of
have been
gold,
watching that show then.
then yes, there'd have been an easy
Yeah.
second season. But with me only finding 17 grams,
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. That's just,
It
it's
was,
just
it was
ridiculous.
a learning. It's now he knows. He can go anywhere
And
now.
since we're live, I won't say how much was actually found because there are lawyers involved.
Well, no, Ray knows he can go anywhere. If he can do it out there, way out there, he can do it anywhere.
Oh, she could have looked at the camera and blown us one too.
Going to bed. Good night, buddy. Love you. Have a good sleep. Sorry, guys. That's
Night,
my-
little man.
My lad. Yep.
So, Rock Butcher, have you ever been on TV or been invited or anything like that? Has that ever occurred?
No. I did get I got headhunted to go with what's that guy's name? Dave something's lost mine.
Oh, Turn.
Dave
Dave Curran. Yeah. I got headhunted for that job. And I thought, you know what? I'm absolutely the perfect guy for that job. But
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't want to commit to like a one season thing. Like I'd rather remain in the industry and not, because God knows what, like I have a professional reputation to uphold, right?
Right.
And what
If it
Hollywood
goes
does,
south, then it'll look
what-
bad on you.
what Hollywood does to me is woo, but I did recommend, I passed them on to another guy and I don't know if they took him or not, but yeah, they did want me to go on that show.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's funny
Well,
because
I got hit up again, but they haven't followed through to do another Alaska one, kind of like Ariel Tweedos. But I don't have more information on it yet.
Mhm. No, it's funny as hell because I watch those shows and I'm like, why aren't you doing this? And then all of a sudden they say, oh, we should do this. And
Yeah.
or I'm
We talked
looking at
about
it, I'm
that
like,
the other night on the
was-
private Zoom because we're
Why is this-
like critics when we do these watch parties of these shows. We're like, what the hell are you guys doing?
where's your water? And then they say, oh, shut it down. There's no water. And my kids all laugh because we all watch it together. Oh, Dad knows everything. Yeah. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, but like you say though, once we get on a damn TV show, they'll make us look like an asshole.
Well, that's it.
I'm
You know.
surprised they didn't make me look like a bigger dick than I did.
That's it. So like, I'm not,
I was lucky.
yeah, because the second that happens, that's in my industry, that's death, man. You're never going to get, oh, you're that guy that was on the TV show.
You're that guy.
And
Well, that's kind of like the geologist now. He's in that Blind Frog Ransom one too. And he was in that first ice cold gold that went to Greenland.
Yeah, have
And
you watched any of that? The Blind Frog Ranch.
no,
You can find it on Discovery Plus.
that's
But,
not like the Skinwalker Ranch thing.
Yeah,
is it?
it's very close to Skinwalker.
Yeah.
Okay, because those guys are just fucking jokers as far as I'm concerned.
But I tell you, that geologist that they have is irritating guy.
Hmm.
Oh, motherfucker, he's an irritating guy. In my personal opinion. That's just me being a critic to TV shows. But
Oh, it's quite possible. There's a lot of us guys that you know, they just sort of set themselves above and they say, this is what I do. And, you know, and that's it. And then there's, you know, guys like me that have been doing it long enough to know that when you got to pull a wrench, I carry wrenches on my fucking belt. If I got to pull a wrench out and fix something, I do it, you know? So there's different qualities in geologists, that's for sure.
There really is. You know, and then the thing about geology is there's just so darn much of it out there. You know, the different kinds of rocks can, you know, and gold is actually in quite a few different kinds of stones too. So it's pretty tough to say, okay, this area is not going to have it, or this area is going to have it.
Ray, I'm still learning. You know, and I can say, I think this is a good place to look. And I can say, I think this is probably not such a good place to look. But there's very few exceptions where I mean, if you look at a sedimentary basin, I'll say you're wasting your time. You know? Unless you want to drill all the way through the sediments, 1,000 meters or more to get to the bottom, but you're wasting your money. So yeah, it's
Carl,
I'm learning.
Carl Groover
every
just
day.
said ice cold. They kept trying to work against each other. That's true, but I had guys working against me as well. Well, I had guys that just wouldn't.
Have you been a polar rich? I brought one back to camp to eat.
Yeah, they shot that little one on your campsite, and I was like, man, I'll probably get wrestled that polar bear.
Dude,
Who's
fucking bear? You ain't gonna wrestle no bear.
y'all got different? Y'all got different
them
names.
It
bears.
up
was
here.
small. You have to admit, it was a small polar bear.
Y'all got different names up here. So, like, who is Heavy Meadow Detective? Is that you, Mr. Lodak? Or no?
Oh,
No,
no.
No,
We're brothers from another mother. Heavy
That's
Metal is
Heavy
Colin.
Metal.
Is Colin. I'm
Colin.
Jared. I'm Jared.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Colin, I'm good.
It takes a while. It takes a while to get used to everything. It really does.
It does, because we've
And like
got
Gold Prospectors Unlimited or Gold Prospecting Unlimited is actually just.
Well, don't confuse
Miller,
the man. He's not even in here. So.
but I call him M&M. You know, so I really screw it up.
I'll tell you.
That's because of MacGyver muscle machine.
Yeah.
I want to tell Colin a little story about polar bears. A buddy of mine, I didn't do it, but a buddy of mine did. It's against the law. You're not allowed to harass wildlife with helicopters. But
He
up
did
in
it anyway.
up in the Northwest Territories, yeah, they got circling this polar bear in the helicopter so that my buddy could take pictures of it. He was sitting in the left seat, the pilot's in the right seat. And the pilot started turning tighter and tighter and tighter circles around this polar bear. And finally, the polar bear lay on its back, put all 4 feet up in the air, and bared its teeth at the helicopter.
Ah, they're badass motherfuckers. They will bite whatever.
So you could take your polar bears. I'd have brought one back to camp to eat. You could take that, stick it right clean up your ass.
I'll tell you, since Ed's on here, Ed knows everybody's name, to their real name, to their nickname, to their store name, to their business.
I wish.
No, he actually is he's actually pretty good.
That's like a computer,
he
man.
is pretty
He's
good
like
at
input.
it.
I told
Between the
everybody-
two of us, when Ed and I were in the auction, we're pretty much going to remember everyone's first name at least.
This is from first day he started at the shed. He was on it, man. Way back in the day.
Yeah, I told all the guys my first day coming on here. My first name's Jim. So it's Jim.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Rock
disclose
Butcher.
that.
No, that's fine. You're welcome to.
I just call you Rock Butcher because that's what you go by on the chat and the Zooms and the StreamYards.
Yeah.
So.
No,
Rock Butcher at work, man.
That's it.
Although Ray slandered your
Well, nice
name
to
in
meet
the
you, Jim.
GPS and called you Rock Crusher.
Rock Crusher. I get Rock Crusher.
There
I
you
get Rock Buster. I get Rock. Yeah, it's
Who you gonna call? Rock Buster.
yeah.
So what you're saying is people butcher your name.
Precisely.
Well, you're as big as a rock, so I'll just call you Rock.
Mhm. Yeah, I've got a pretty cool 1-day job coming up here shortly. Sometime this week, depending on when the helicopter's available. I got to go out. I think I was mentioning to you guys earlier, I'm developing this exploration project, a gold project, about 2 hours east here at Thunder Bay. And got to go up. Access there is really, really tough. There's very few login roads. There's very few trails. And like, how the hell do you get in there? And the old timers got in there. There's lots of showings. There's lots of gold, you know. But it's just a matter of how to do it. So yeah, the client, I was talking to him yesterday, and he gave me the go ahead to get in the helicopter and go. So I get 6 hours in the bird there sometime shortly over the next week, and gonna fly from here out to Terrace Bay, refuel, and then up. Spend about 3 hours flying the property looking for trails. I'll be sitting in the front seat with maps on my legs and drawing lines on the maps, and oh, there's a trail here, a trail there, and oh, let's go over there and take what's that, you know, and get to fly all around, and then back down to Terrace Bay, refuel, and then go back to Thunder Bay again. So it'll be about 6 hours total. So
that's a cool day, a cool job, man.
it'll be a yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. We don't.
No, where's this at? In Canada?
Yeah. North Shore.
Is there still snow out there, or is it starting to melt?
Yeah, it's melting now pretty fast, but there's still a lot of
getting them muddy. You getting off the helicopter to do any prospecting, or just sightseeing?
No, it'll all be visual from the air. But all I'm doing is mapping it out.
Marking GPS. Yeah.
We used to say in the Army, time spent in recce is seldom wasted. You know, so for the money I spend doing that, finding out access routes and everything else, it's going to save us days and days of manpower later on trying to get in there. So I don't know if I, depending on.
Are you going to have like a high resolution camera running at the same time?
No, I'll bring my cell phone. I'll do it all on paper with I'm old school like you. I'll have maps on my knees, and I'll be drawing lines on the maps.
I was gonna say, strap a metal detector underneath that helicopter.
I'll have a GPS. Well, don't get me wrong. We do have
a big one.
We fly mag. Yeah, we fly mag.
Yeah.
And we will be doing that later on.
Hey, you're one step ahead of all of us, man, on that part of the territory you're about to go to, because you're doing it.
I'm what I might do is I might take depending on whether or not. I told my buddy, one of my good friends here, I says he's never been in a helicopter before. I said,
oh boy,
I'll take you out if you want to go.
Better bring the bag, dude.
But yeah. But if he's busy working, I'll call into the school and tell my son that no, you know, my son's not coming in. I'll take the boy with me. And
that's the real reason, huh?
The 11-year-old can sit in the back seat.
So I get sick.
Yeah. Oh no, it's pretty smooth. We won't be pulling any high G maneuvers, so it'd be cool. But it'd be a beautiful flight. It's really rugged terrain, lots of canyons, you know, cool. And pine trees and stuff like that. So it'll be a beautiful run. Hey, Luke Duke.
No, hold on. We got to stop the whole show. We have a real celebrity. We have a real celebrity, Brian Wilder of Bering Sea Gold.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, we got another good celebrity.
There's two different tabs here.
Very much. Brother Freemason is in the house. Patriot Catfishers of America.
There we go.
Down there in Georgia. He's a gold hog, tried and true, good man. And he's a brother Freemason and a big shout out.
Well, that's two things that I like.
My brother, amongst good men, James is in the house. Patriot Catfish.
Where's Bob?
Pleased to meet you, James.
I know I got like 3 tabs open.
My little brother's a Freemason.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. In Ottawa.
I was actually supposed to go work with the Scottish Rite today. We're conferring a young man to the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite. But I just wanted to take today off. I didn't go attend just because I was just,
You had a
I
stressful,
needed
stress-free
a
week.
day to not do nothing but actually go play in the dirt.
You had a
Going to the
stress-free
mine
week.
today and going to the beach today and sitting in my backyard in the sunshine today. I needed an outside day, and that's what I
You
did.
know, good for you.
That's
Mental
crazy,
health,
Ray.
mental health days are cool.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that that's crazy that a Patriot catfisher. What was it? I had to scroll up again. I've been
Patriot
subscribed
Catfishing
to
of
him for a
America.
long time. I didn't know that was one of your friends.
Oh yeah. Well, he became a Mason after. Actually, I don't know. I don't know this for a fact, but I think I might have inspired him to, you know, go to a lodge and talk to a brother and see if it was something he wanted to pursue or not. I will never talk none of you people into becoming a Mason. That is not my job. If you want to do it, you got to ask a Mason in your local town and see if you want to do it.
That's the coolest part about Masonic order, in my
You
opinion.
know? We don't make a bad man good. We try to help him make a good man better.
You guys don't say,
Exactly.
ooh, new prospects. Let's get this guy. Yeah.
Look at Brian over
You guys
here
get
telling
bored.
Ed to call in. Ed's already called in,
I'm
Brian.
already
You
here,
call in.
Brian.
Miss Brian
You
back
don't
at home
need no
yet or what?
pants on. Just have a shirt on, please.
He's gonna have a white
Ed, the
t-shirt
reason you're
on.
not showing on YouTube is because you don't have a camera,
You back
whether it
home
be
yet,
a
Brian?
virtual background or whatnot. Because you
That's
don't
true.
have your camera on without a virtual background, so they
Oh,
can't
I-
see you on YouTube.
Yeah,
Mr. Rodak, do you have a camera on? Because
You
every
can
time
hear
I see
me.
that dude hanging onto
That's me.
that,
That was my
painted-
the first time I saw a flash in my pan.
Looks like Stephen King.
okay,
Holding
we
on
need,
to
we
bro.
need a real camera image.
God, I remember
That's just
close
gross.
to, I remember close to 7 years ago, pretty close to 7 years ago, getting into gold prospecting space. And I remembered stumbling across Ed's show.
In the shade.
Ed in the
That's how it all
shit.
started, man.
Yeah, that's a long time ago when I was building stuff with
Yep.
a prospector on a budget.
Homemade stuff, man. And then he
I
went to
remem- I
testing all the
remember-
equipment.
That's when I met Ed, long time. I mean, it's pretty close to seven, I think, at least 7 years ago. Maybe even
Can you
8.
see me
That's
now,
about
Jim?
that. You're right, Ray.
What's up, Jim?
You're right.
That's
Back in
when,
2015
Hey, that's cheating.
or 16 or something like that.
That's when you guys were doing a team snare.
Keep gold snare.
Look at that
yeah.
goatee, man.
Team
My
Go-
goatee has
Team
gotten
Gold
so
Snare.
long.
There's Jaron, what's it, Rock Butcher.
What's that?
Hey, there's Wheeler Man. There's the
He's
Wheeler
like-
Man.
Yeah, Jim, aka Rock Butcher, requested I put a camera on. Here I am. I'm real. I exist.
He does exist. Actually, me and Wheeler last night were actually in GPS just bullshit with each other last night for quite a long time.
Oh, it happens.
Yep.
Jaron's anonymous. I can see him with his mask, you know.
That's the look I was going for.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
I remember watching the videos, what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It was all over the place.
Well, Patrick, yeah, him and who's your buddy now? I can't remember. Patriot James's buddy, not Brian. He's got a buddy down there, big burly son of a bitch. He's another cat fisherman, and he's another one of the guys that actually I sent the gold dog flag to. James and his buddy both had the gold dog flag down there in the Carolinas years and years ago.
Are these the dudes that catch the catfish with their arm underneath the water?
You
It's
No,
called
no.
noodling.
No,
Yeah.
these guys are
Noodling. Those guys are
these guys
crazy.
are fishing poles.
No, PA,
Ah.
Patrick. No, yeah, they're good. Legit. I love catfish, and I've been subscribed to them for a long time. So it was kind of surprising to know that Ray actually knows that guy. And
Is that the guy that,
actually,
that talks
actually
funny?
flathead catfish this season right now.
Check him out.
They're all flathead. Freddie Beck. Yeah, Freddie Beck. There he is. Yeah, he's another damn good. Now he's not Freddie Beck's not a Freemason, but he loves gold and he's a dredging fool. and him and James have both gotten into that catfishing. James makes these fancy little pool noodles with a little itty bitty one of them what do you call these new fancy lights nowadays? LED. Itty bitty LED light. And they go out there.
LBGT lights.
Yeah, itty bitty titty lights, man.
Yeah,
They go
yeah, yeah.
catfishing at nighttime looking for itty bitty titties and big fat catfish.
You put lights on a bait up here in Canada, boy, they'll slap you in chains. Yeah.
Oh, will they?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're quite specific about it. But we used to have, I had a buddy of mine that invented a tip up for ice fishing, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was a PVC tube and it had a windmill on it. And so the windmill would drive this thing. It had a drive axis through it
Bouncing up and down.
that went to, an eccentric wheel. And the eccentric wheel was attached to the jig arm.
The bait.
So it would jig the bait up and down. And it had a little damper screw on it that you could slow it down. So on really windy days, your bait wasn't going like this. You know what I mean? So you just want your bait going like this kind of thing. And he actually, we had like 5 of these things spread out on the ice one day, and all our other tip ups and everything else. And the game warden shows up. And there's nothing illegal about that. I mean, the only thing, lights and spring loaded. You're not allowed to some spring loaded trap to catch fish. And the game warden stands there. He says, "I'm gonna have to confiscate that." And he says,
fuck you! You're
and he
not
says-
taking my fishing pole.
And he says, and he was looking at it. He got him to explain it and everything like this. And he says, "I'm gonna have to confiscate that." And my buddy says, "Why the hell you got to confiscate it?" He says, the game warden looks at him and says, "Because I don't think I could build one of them myself." And he gave it back to him. He didn't confiscate it at all.
He's like, I
But,
need one of them, huh?
Yeah, no, it was the coolest setup. But on the end of the little steel wire, he had a little alligator clip on that would just hold on to the fishing line. All you did was put a piece of flagging tape or
Or a
something
bell.
like that, and so it's going up and down, and it's you don't see
I
the
prefer a
flagging
bell.
tape anymore.
I prefer a bell, honestly.
Oh, that fucking bell would be going ding, 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 ding every time the thing went up and down. So you put a piece of flagging tape on it, and then when the flagging tape disappears, you know that's
You see that, Ray?
It's
Oh,
down.
fly reel. That's expensive reel too, right there.
Oh yeah.
Well, in the chat they were talking about like a when you're catfishing in the dark versus a bobber with a
Oh yeah,
LED.
for sure. Yeah,
Well,
at
no,
or
that's
a
nighttime,
bell. in the ring.
that bell, because I've done it many a times
That's
when I'm
cool.
catfishing and it's dark. I'm pretty much asleep and passed out.
Mhm.
That bell will wake my ass up.
Oh,
That
totally.
that LED bobber is not gonna wake me up.
We use bells on our tip ups or on our rods, or ice fishing jigging rods, that you set in a little stand by the hole. And as soon as it starts going like that, same thing. You're twilight or whatever, and all of a sudden ding a ling a ling, and away you go. So, yeah.
Man, I haven't actually been fishing since I decided to get into prospecting, gold prospecting.
That happens a lot, Mr.
No.
Rodo.
James is sending that's the little bobbers he's making.
That's cool.
Look at
Look
that.
like the flameless candles,
Yeah.
the LED flameless candles that stick in a pumpkin or something.
I'll tell you what, him and he actually takes out his family and little youngsters and all that right there. They've been catching some that damn nice cats. They've been catching some damn nice pretty fish. It still don't count. It ain't gold. This is a gold prospecting channel, not a catfishing channel.
What's up, Josh?
The trick I've found after 32 years of doing this is that you have to make time for both. spend your day doing that, and then in the evening, go get a couple of fish and cook them up for supper.
So who's Josh Orts?
Ortiz. I
Whatever.
know I know your English is
Josh
not so good, but
Ortiz.
neither is your Spanish.
Well, it looked like orts to me. Kind of like
Ortiz.
a kind of like a wart.
Ortiz.
Put your
Yeah.
glasses on, Ray.
Hey, Josh.
Well, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. So you guys all have a good evening.
All
Right
right,
on, brother
Vandal. Take care, brother.
Take it easy.
Later, man.
See ya, Van, bro.
Catch you later, slime.
Yeah, you guys all have a good time.
You too,
Right
man.
on.
You got it.
So I just learned something. So I know not to go fishing because I never catch a fish anyway. So I'd rather just go, with my suction dredge, lay in the water, swim with the fish, and bring some fish with me to the campsite
There you
from
go.
the store.
Actually,
Yeah.
James, if you're wide awake enough to send me a damn picture, go ahead and join the Zoom link. It's posted there above it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I joke that geologists are the luckiest people in the world because we get paid to go fishing and hunting in places where people pay to go fishing and hunt.
Exactly.
And
And you don't have to report it all either. You'd be like, let's see this one off of this survey.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We'll come back for this one. Yeah, by myself. Yeah. All right.
Oh, look at Brian. He said later. You're not even going to call in,
I
Brian.
know, Brian.
Brian's gonna bail. He's not even gonna hang out. I mean, he could tell us some decent gold stories. Well, not very many. Yeah. He's just gonna talk about gnome gold. I mean, gnome gold is one of those, I don't know. It's just free for the picking if you want to do it.
I watch that stuff on TV all the time. It's I wonder why some company hasn't showed up there with a great big ship like they used to mine the diamonds off the coast of Namibia and just suck the whole thing right
they
up.
do. They just ain't going to put it on camera. You know what
Well,
I mean?
actually, Alaska State's got a lot of regulations of what they can do and what they can't do up there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
Oh,
Washington.
He's laying beside his bed. He's patting mom on the butt.
He
He's
got his
going,
hand on his belly,
yeah. Okay. Well, I
head in
understand.
the pillow. Got his leg in the air.
Oh, Brian's just saying later to the other dude.
Oh,
James patting mom on the butt. Yeah, whoop her butt. My ass. He's whooping her butt.
Well, we gave you the link there, Brian. Call in. No pants required.
Oh, he's talking to Vern right now. Oh my God. That's a fucking long-winded story. If you're talking to Vern.
Oh gosh.
He's probably Vern's just like, hey, you didn't catch that on video, did you? Can I
I'm
get
surprised,
that
I'm
removed?
surprised that Brian hasn't actually hit up on Vern's daughter.
You think he didn't?
Well, he might have. There ain't
I
no
thought
there ain't no wedding bells.
I
Oh
thought she
crap! I
married
always
some-
forget we're
I thought
on
she was
YouTube.
hooked up with one of his divers or something like that. Wasn't she?
I
We
don't
have
know.
no comments.
We don't know these kind of things. Things that are learned in private on the side is none of your business.
Gotcha.
Cannot confirm or deny.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watch that guy and I laugh steady.
Looks like James got to rebuild his 5-inch. Well, guess what? I can't get out there and go gold mining either because I have to completely rebuild my dredge too. My the first edition of Razor's Edge, I built out of metal. Well, the metal is now so rusted that it won't support it. And then secondly, I don't have an outboard motor for it now. And then third, my big Keen 13 horsepower Honda 4x3 pump is dead. Actually, the engine's dead more than the pump.
So pretty much you need a whole new dredge.
But, well, yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
My sluice box is still there, but I don't really like the sluice box. Now that I built that sluice box that I built in Greenland, I want that on that dredge.
There you go.
I want to build the same thing I built in Greenland for my house. For me to use personally on the beaches right around here. I'll put even though it's kind of a shady gray area, Alaska state law says I can only go up to 6-inch dredge. but I wonder if I could get away with running twin fours. Is that kind of pushing the rules or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a 4-inch dredge.
Yeah, it's just two of them.
4-inch nozzle, you just have two.
Yeah, I
you-
just got two.
Yeah,
fours.
no, you should be good because you could have 2 dredges, each 4-inch, or you could have 1 dredge that's each running.
Well,
4-inch.
it's one floating platform.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should be all right.
that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I'd like to build that same setup that I built in Greenland, except for with twin fours. And if I want to, I've got the capability of going a single 6 in the middle.
If the gas prices go down, build 2 motors.
Well, yeah, it's gonna require 2 motors. Yeah, it require 2 motors.
I'll be
If
right
gas
back,
goes
guys.
down.
All right.
I want to kind of address this question by Patriot Catfishers of America. He said, "Do y'all think increasing my box to 10 foot on my dredge will help catch more of the fine gold?" That's the definition of going crazy.
I would say yes.
No, that's the definition of going crazy. To run the same thing over and over, respecting
No,
different
he's
results.
He's running
You
gold
need
hog
to.
mass in the whole thing.
Okay.
He's running
all right.
gold hog mass in the whole thing.
So yeah. So I
I
wish
tell
you
you,
would
I
like
don't
call
know
in.
if going to 10 foot is going to help you much. 8 foot, yes. 10 foot,
If you would call in, so maybe I can get a little more personal about what
You
you
must be getting a lot of gold, man. Because if it's filling up your box,
he ain't
where
going
you
to
have
call
to
in
add
because
to
he's
it,
patting mom on the butt. He's not going to
then
call him. He's not going to call
Okay,
him.
so
Pat mom on the butt.
you
well,
can
I
run
really
longer.
need to know the story before I can make a proper opinion, though.
You can run longer.
Holy shit.
This is
150
Jaron Dodge's
150
Mine
pound-
Rescue.
Carl Gruber said there's 150 pound catfish in Kansas River. Holy shit, that's a big fucking fish. That'd be a lot
Bunch
of
of 'em.
catfish.
Go,
wonder
there's
how
a
that
bunch of them on
catfish tastes.
YouTube. Bunch of videos on them catfish. Big blue catfish.
I got pee too.
Catfishes are old.
Oh, I don't have my camera on, so everybody looks like they're all gone or something. Let me see. There we go. We'll at least have a background so we show up on the YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
Only reason to add on the sluice box if you're trying not to clean out as much or something. Because if you got gold at the end of your sluice box and you're trying to add, then all you got to do is dial that sluice in a little bit better.
Yeah, there's questions. I need to like see what's going on, like in the box, literally, like to
He's not saying how long the food box is right now.
it's like when we watch these Freddie Dodge's Mine Rescue and whatever, we can identify a lot of these things like in the first like 5 minutes of the show. We're like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. But without having any of that information, I don't suggest necessarily going increasing your box size for no reason if you're just going to be using the same type of thing.
Dude, I like fat chicks. I always say increase the box size.
I'm doing good, Josh. Hope you are as well, brother. But yeah, I think when it comes down to like, we all watch that Freddie Dodge, and there's a lot of things that can be taken away from shows like that. We all, like all of us, we've talked about it. Everyone in the chat right now or in the Zoom meeting have cringed when you see one of these shows. And you're just instantly, you're like, why are you doing it like that? Like, you know.
And then adding like more onto dredge, when it starts up, it kicks back a certain way, a certain angle. And when you add to that, add more weight, you're gonna make that kickback off. So you have to redo your whole setting it up.
I can tell you guys this much. I mean, you've seen some of my older videos, the double drag,
move.
what Jaron Hatch has out there. It's an 18-inch wide box fed by a 3-inch nozzle, but it's a high banker. And it's 8 foot long. Okay. So lately, on the average, he's been getting about 4 grams a day. Well, during the course of the winter, he always moors his dredge out there on an anchor. So his floats are starting to get waterlogged. And he called me up. He said, dude, I'm out there dredging for 4 or 5 hours and I'm only getting like 2 grams of gold. I said, have you checked when you actually load it with water and sand? Have you checked it? And he called me back. He goes, okay, I just checked it. I'm dropping all the way down to like 7 degrees. He kicked it back up to 12 degrees when it's fully loaded. And his gold recovery went all the way up to almost 6 grams.
Just adjusting his stuff.
From 4 to 6 grams.
But that's a high banker, though, right? That's a high banker on. That's a high banker on like what, homemade pontoons or something to make a dredge?
Yeah, it's a high banker.
Now see, a dredge is different though, because it's solid. You build it, but when a dredge starts, it's floating in the water. But as soon as you kick it on, that dredge kicks back in the water, so it brings that sluice up. So if he's adding to it, he's got to readjust his whole thing. High banker is different. That's
a common mistake. That's also
people got.
That's also a common mistake. I'd like to say hi to Brian, but that's a common mistake. We've seen it on those Freddy Dodge recoveries where they have this heavy equipment sitting there, but they got water coming off the back end and it's settling their equipment and their pitch is all off.
Right.
Yeah.
And it might have worked good, and they thought, hey, yeah, we were getting great results. But why are we not now? Because you got water coming off the back end, your equipment's settling, and your pitch is all off.
Like Jared said, if there's no reason to add, then there's no reason. Unless what do you fill up more? Is it less time cleaning up, or are you getting that much gold where it's going to the end of the sluice?
You totally, from my experience, you got to have your mill guy, a dedicated mill guy who at least twice a day goes around and checks your levels.
Yeah.
And at least twice a day. And because you just never know, like you say,
you can't always rely on that on a floating dredge, especially when you're in the ocean, because
I'm not necessarily talking about a dredge.
You're going to be dealing with swell, so you're always going to lose gold.
I'm talking on land.
Yeah.
I'm talking on land.
But
so the only other thing I would add to that is if you're looking, for a waterborne dredge, if you're going to increase the size of it, just keep in mind that you're increasing wear and tear on the equipment because you're passing, you're passing bigger stuff. You start running a 6-inch instead of a 4-inch, right? So is your wear and tear going to be worth the time? I don't know. You got to do the math, right? What do you think you're going to get?
That's my thing. If the gold's not at the end of the sluice now, then why add a couple more feet just to have a hang?
All I know is
on a dredge it would just end weight to the end.
The gold hog mast will not catch as much sand as we're running in the first 2 feet. It won't do it. The gold drops out somewhere between 3 foot and about 7 to 8 foot.
Yeah.
And then slumps off from there down to, if I go all the way to 10 foot, I found some gold in the 10-foot riffles, but if I go to 12 foot, I really haven't found no gold in the 12-foot riffles.
Unless he's doing a test.
It seemed like the 12 foot was almost a cunt hair too long, and 8 to 10 I was definitely finding gold in 8 to 10, but was it worth it or not? That was debatable.
All those river dredges that I've seen, I got to tell you, I've never worked with a river dredge. I've seen them working, but the first thought out of my mind was that those boxes were too short. You're going to catch all the chunky stuff for sure. No question about it. But you're blowing out your gravy is the fine stuff, and you're going to blow that out of the box.
That's what I was about to say. Unless he's trying to test it out, maybe he is missing the finer stuff. You can add. That's what I did in my high banker, but it's not a
probably got more gold in a dredge than all of us put together. But again, he set his dredge up for the big gold.
Yeah, and he runs probably full throttle.
Yeah, chime in here, Brian.
None of these guys blow the smaller
Your,
stuff
your
off.
mic's all fucked up. Brian.
Patriot,
Can
Catfisher,
do
James.
Mike.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Pick up that microphone there, Brian. 2 turntables.
Still can't hear you. Oh, you got to plug it in. He's plugging it in.
Now, damn it, James, you were supposed to be in there patting Mama's butt. We was kind of proud of you.
There's Mr. Brian. I see you, buddy.
Patriot James, you haven't selected a microphone. We can't hear you.
How's that?
You're live.
Brian, we
Right.
can hear you now.
I see you, Patriot James. Nope, you just muted, Patriot. Unmute.
Nope, you're muted. James, you're muted.
There you are.
Can't
Still
hear
can't
you.
hear you,
The
brother. Still can't
the
hear you.
wrong microphone selected on the Zoom meeting. In the bottom left, you'll see a microphone with the up arrow. Click on the up arrow and select your default microphone.
Nope, you just turn your camera off. There you go. You're back on.
Nope, we still can't hear you.
Okay, well, while he's working on that, Brian, go ahead, continue.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Brian's wore out. I knew
Hey,
it. You back
Brian.
at home yet, Brian, or what?
By the
Yeah,
way,
no, I got home.
welcome home, Brian. Welcome home.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
home like last Sunday. I almost home for a week, but
Oh, you're gonna.
I
be
just been
there.
doing all maintenance crap. My water heater blew up, so I've been doing that.
Wow.
Freaking washing all my shit. Fucking. Oh, sorry, can't swear.
you can.
Okay.
You're on Ray
Around-
Russo
on my
show.
channel,
You
you're
can
not-
swear.
Oh, he's on YouTube.
Yeah, no, just doing all maintenance that I haven't been doing in the last 3 or 4 months, so everything's kind of, I've just been busy every day. But yeah, no, I'm getting back to normal now. Actually, I'm gonna go dredging 2 weeks from now, so I'm getting my camper all ready, getting that all set. I gotta change the tire out.
You coming in Flash Bash?
No, I'm going up to Bath, New Hampshire on the 13th. There's a dredging outing, first one of the year.
Oh, is that with Adam and
I don't know if Adam goes to this one.
John?
Usually doesn't. This is the big all the New Hampshire crew. Some of the Vermont guys go, but this is like a dredging outing. Well, I mean,
Right
you
on.
can sluice and pan. and
So when
stuff.
are we all gonna start raiding each other's outings, man? Just like, hey, what up? What up? A group of us, to do like we do the
I ain't
talk
got I
shows.
ain't got the money to fly everywhere. I ain't
This
got
is
the money
just
to
a
fly.
basic small. It's a small outing. I've been going to this outing for like last 10 years, so it's the only one really in the Northeast that is around that you can dredge at. I know Mojo has one with Bobby Freedom, but that one's in Vermont, and you can't.
Some
you
damn
can't even
celebrities.
sluice legally. All you can do there is just pan, so it's kind of lame. You can't
He,
sluice.
um,
Can you hear me now?
he does that with
Oh, yeah.
Bobby
Can hear you.
You
Free.
can hear someone, yeah.
I mean, Vermont's got some good gold. I mean, you can pan and get a little gold in every pan, but I mean, I hate panning. If I want to use as much machinery as possible. That's how you're going to get the gold.
I'd rather
Yeah,
go
did you
to
get
Maine
spoiled
or
in
New
the-
Hampshire than Vermont.
Oh,
Yeah,
Brian should
so
be
New
getting
Hampshire, yeah, you
flames
can
right
dredge.
now.
So Vermont or New Hampshire and Maine, you can do dredge as much as you want. No one bothers you.
Well, did you get spoiled in the gold room with all that equipment and all that stuff there? Or
Oh yeah, I got machinery envy big time.
He's spoiled bad.
He's
Oh,
gold
man.
miner / producer, cameraman now.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
out.
It's cool being
Yeah.
pretty fun.
well, now that you're not on camera, do you still not wear pants?
Now he's bored. Back at home.
Well, when I was there, I had to wear pants, but I guess I didn't have to. A couple times I didn't.
Oh yeah, below zero, wind blowing at you. I'll be wearing all kinds of stuff out there.
Actually, he's in Nome in the wintertime. Motherfucker, everybody wears pants in Nome in
Yeah,
the
it was like
wintertime.
below 40. And he's out there at the camera. Or
Back at our our dormitory there's like 4 bathrooms like right next to the living room, so you got like 4
Okay.
guys coming out of the shower all the time with just a towel on. Does that count with no pants?
That's mining camps for you.
Yeah.
Well, James, it's good to see you. I haven't done a YouTube video in a long time, James. I don't know, for some reason, for shits and grins, I figured, well, I'm gonna do a YouTube video. My two big things. I might have found me a little logo, maybe. I'm gonna try to figure out a logo that's
No, I
gonna
like the
say
logo.
that's gonna say Ray Rusaw, Juneau, Alaska, not just a pan. Something like that.
Cool.
Because I tell you what,
That'll work.
the gold pan is not just a gold pan. It's a friendship. It's science. It's it's money.
Geology.
It's geology. I mean, there's
And
a
it
lot
all
to do.
begins with the pan and it ends with the pan.
So I'm thinking I might have finally figured out a sticker, Ed. Maybe not just a gold pan, not just a pan.
Right on.
Maybe. With Ray Russo. I don't know.
That's a good
Something like that.
slogan. It really is.
Okay, quick survey here. How many of you guys have ever taken a scoop of dirt in a pan in a shovel and panned in your shovel to see what was in? Raise your hands.
Me.
Oh, hold on. I
Yeah.
gotta start my camera. Oh, I gotta open it up or something.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
How
My
many of you
hands
actually?
up too.
Because I mean, it's physics. It's physics, you know? There you go. Right on. Yeah. The number of times I've done that with my pen, my shovel, because I didn't have my pen, I'm like, oh, let's see what's here.
Yep.
You know, I can't count.
Well, I've actually panned with worse than just a shovel. I've actually just taken a little soda bottle, a plastic one, cut the bottom off to like 2 inches,
Make a
and just
sluice.
no, just a concentrator. You know, let let lights flow off.
Yeah.
And just a little test with a 1 liter plastic bottle.
Yep.
I mean,
I've used the bed
I work-
pan.
Josh Ortiz.
yeah, Ray's used a bedpan.
Yeah,
I've
Ben-
used
Use
the
the
bed pan.
gravity
What's up, Keith
dredge
Doty?
in
Hey, what's up?
California.
Years ago, I worked with, back when the wall came down and the Russians were available for work, we were looking for diamonds. And I worked with a bunch of Russian guys to talk about your 1 liter bottle that you were using. One of the guys actually had a screen set up where it was like a nesting set of screens, and it had an open bottom that you could unscrew, and it had a open top, and you could take that, and he showed me, and you take this entire thing and you dip it in the stream and you do like a U shape, like this. You do that, do this, do this, do this, and it would blow the lights off the top, and your heavies would collect down in the bottom screen, which is a very fine screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that works. That works. The pop.
I
bottles
have
work too.
I have a new challenge. Those who are smokers of the night know what a grinder is. That thing could be used as like a pater separator, honestly.
No.
Grinder challenge.
I guess it depends on the grinder.
I'm not playing that game because I ain't got one of them damn things in here.
Yeah.
Well, they're
No.
built. They're already pre-made.
There he is. So now, as a bobber, that only just gives you an idea to be able to go fishing at nighttime and see when the fish is actually grabbing your bobber, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can float baits at all different levels of the water. This is designed that you can set it 100 foot or 1 foot. And when you want to fish in the daylight, you just unscrew it, turn your light off, screw it right back in, and you're ready for daytime fishing.
So essentially, it's still just a bobber, is all it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just a
Correct.
bobber.
It's adapted for night or
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I used to use one of those back in
And
the day.
Up here in
And the
Canada, when we're
insert side,
fishing for big fish, we use Javex bottles for that. And when you see the Javex bottle moving around, then you know you got a fish on the line. But
yeah.
don't ever tell the game
This is
warden I
just
told you that.
small one. I make 4 different sizes.
We might have
Something
10
blue,
or
the
12.
insert, dangerous, and indestructible.
James, it's good to see you on here because I've been subscribed to you for like probably 4 or 5 years. In all honesty.
Well, y'all probably remember. I mean, I still got a gold mining page on Facebook, but I've been in here as long as Ray has, just about, and started with.
Oh, see, I don't do a lot of Facebook. I try to avoid it, Facebook as much as possible, but I still find myself there.
Well, it's a good place for me to advertise my floats and stuff, and that's how I
Right.
got to meet Ray and a bunch of the other gold miners. God, what, Ray? 20 years ago, 18 years ago.
No, it ain't been that long. We
Has it
actually we met about the time I got into here with the gold hog and everything was probably 9 years ago. It's been about 9
been
years
long.
now.
Oh,
Hmm.
And it's
Long
only
time,
I
anyway.
was doing it before I retired, and I've been retired now 12 years. So I built my first dredge, ordered the parts and everything while I was still at work, and that was the last time I worked was 2009. So I've been gold mining probably about 16 years, I guess. But the big
Yeah, but
gold
you
dredge, the
weren't
reason
you
I'm
weren't
asking
very
about,
active in the gold hog farm until about 9 years ago.
is that how long it's been?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, probably
with the
so.
gold hog farm. I mean that's how we met was
Right.
through gold hog.
Right.
That's how we
Them
met. Was
mats,
gold hog.
I'll always use them mats. I love them. But the reason I was asking about lengthening my box, Ray, and of course, you seen some of the gold that come out of my creek.
Yep.
But the last time I run there, I run a good probably 6 hours nozzle time and got about 6.5, right at 7 grams of this super fine -100 mesh gold.
Yeah.
And there's piles of that in there. So I assume there's gold in there that I could seine through a -300 and there will be grams of it.
Well,
That's why I'm
basically,
asking.
you're
And-
going to probably lose some of it. All you can do really is just kind of run and run and run until you finally get that right sweet spot. I mean, where you can actually start seeing it in the dredge. When you can
I
finally
do.
see it in the dredge, then you're golden.
Or do like we
Right.
talked about before, running all one mat if you're going after just the fines. If you already got all the bigger stuff out and you're going after one mesh, then go ahead and just
Well, James, I wanted to. I said I wanted you to call in. So, what kind of material are you running into? Like any clay or like your
Well,
water issues or anything?
Where I'm at is Crowder's Mountain and Kings Mountain in North Carolina. This is actually the oldest mountain range in both North and South America. And what's happened is that we don't run into the round riverstone. We run into what they're calling, geologists call it, is an ancient flood layer of crushed quartz and stuff. And the creek that I'm in is right in the middle of all of these mountain ranges. So the gold that I'm in is actually ground down so fine, but I'm in black sands also that if you put it on the water table, the gold will walk off before the black sands will.
yeah.
So I know I'm probably losing as much as I'm catching. That's the reason I'm trying to lengthen. And when I lengthen the box, I'm actually going to widen it from a 20-inch box to a 24-inch box to try to slow that
Well,
water down.
the
and
box
catch
is
even more.
overloading for one.
You know what? You know what you
one
might
reason
want to.
or another.
It's not overloading. It's not overloading. This gold is so fine, it's still wanting to keep traveling.
I
James,
would do it, Jared. I would do it. I would
Can
do
I-
it, man.
Well, I'm rebuilding
go-
the whole
go
range
ahead.
anyway.
Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, James, you might want to look into if you've got gold that fine. Take a look into a Nelson concentrator. Nelson, it's KNELSON. You can get some pretty small ones, and I think you might be on the hook for about, I'm thinking maybe $1,500, $2,000. But what it is, it's a gravity concentrator that it spins a ball,
Centrifugal.
and they're
Talking about.
specifically designed to catch ultrafine gold.
Also,
Now-
James, there's a company called Little Gold Spinner. They've been working on one for a dredge, a centrifugal for
This
a
is
dredge.
Nelson's a centrifugal thing as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, either or. Look at
What
either
you
or.
guys
Yeah,
talking about.
centrifugal force is it's a hell of a thing.
So what it does is it takes it just because it's spinning so bloody fast, it amplifies the gravitational force that's attracted, to help you with the density separation. And
Right.
And it will
What's up,
capture
Charles?
the super fine
My,
stuff.
my
Well-
problem with the Newsom Bowl, is feed rate. Feed rate is too
Yep.
slow at Newsom Bowl.
Well, Nelson,
Yep.
He's gonna have to go slow. He's got fine mesh.
Well, I mean, that's
Harvey-
with any type of gold separator. You have to find that fucking
Yeah.
that
Sure.
golden zone. You can't.
it's like, yeah, it's like with anything, you've got to tune it. How much? What's your feed rate? What's your water rate? Everything. So
I mean, because right here in Juneau,
I
old
got-
Russ Rifle, the old, God bless his soul, he passed away on me this year, but
James, I would do it, man. I would extend it.
he had two of those new Nelson Bowls or Newsom Bowls, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them. And yes, they caught all the fucking gold, but the feed rate to that thing was so critical, and it was such a bastard to get the feed rate into that thing just right. It was a bitch,
well,
but that's all just pure. I mean, we're
You wanna
talking
catch-
pure sand going in, screen down to basically 16th inch.
Well, that's the most important thing is to
no,
find that
no.
zone, to
You're
really
you're
find
getting me
that
wrong
zone.
there, Ray. You're getting me wrong, Ray. I'm talking about taking it off the end of the sluice box and then passing what comes off the end of the sluice box through the Nelson.
Well,
Before it
what
goes out
I've
to depth.
designed, what I've designed is a sump to go on the end of my box, and I've been floating my 4-inch dredge over to the side of it, and actually using it like a 2-inch, and it's actually built like the gold grabber box. It's a flared box, and then I suck it off, and whatever comes off the end of my box, it gets sucked back up and run through a 4-inch box of the gold grabber box, but with nothing but flat mats.
Mm-hmm.
And my recovery rates went up, but I think I'm still losing a lot that's actually going right over top of that sump. So the reason I want to throw a flared box out there is to slow that water down and try to get more of that gold to lay down. That's the problem. I run a rubber mat the full length of my box now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah, yeah.
That's silicone.
You might want to look at putting a Nelson on to your sump box off the end of your sluice,
Hey, Brian,
I mean,
Oh,
I've got anyway, so
fed from a trash pump or something like that.
I got
Yeah,
one
he
for
said he had all the
I got
same
one
mats.
for Brian will appreciate this. Check this out, Brian. My wife made homemade Baileys.
Oh, damn.
He's wrong.
Sweet.
There it is, right there. There's
I'm
some
drinking,
homemade Ba- there's some
homemade
homemade Baileys
151
right
That's
there.
chocolate milk. No.
I got homemade 151 rum right now.
I got a homemade Pepsi Cola.
Oh, that's made with Jameson's.
Nice. Jameson's
Well, me
nice.
and my homebrewed coffee is gonna call it a night. See y'all.
Hey,
All
Ed,
right.
All right, Ed.
Ed,
Take care,
haven't
brother.
stopped by very often, but thank
night,
you,
Ed.
buddy.
Hey, Ed, how many
My pleasure.
spots for flashbacks left? 7, you said?
7.
7, I think.
God, I wish I had.
Oh, look at
unlimited money.
Charlie.
I would love to come to.
What's up, guys?
Yo,
You'll make
Hey,
it someday,
Charlie.
Ray.
Ed, is there a helicopter pad there for below deck?
I told him
Helicopter.
there's an airport right next door he could land at.
Ah, there
Some
you go.
way, somehow, some year, I'm gonna come to flashbacks. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do it, but someday, sooner or later, I'm gonna come to flashbacks.
Yeah.
And we're gonna buy you a
Yeah,
pair of shorts,
I'm
Ray.
with you. I
As soon as
haven't been
come.
to flashbacks
I can't wait for that day, Ray. And
Yeah, I
one
wanna
day
make it
I'll make it
flashback.
to Juneau and
Well, I want to
say,
hang out with Dano, man. I don't know about you so much, but I want to hang out with Dano.
well, Dano's a great guy, Ray.
Plus, he's got his balls to give away.
Ed, your shirt kind of looks like a Vato. You should you did the wrong button.
Here, I can fix that for you.
You're only supposed to do the top one.
I'm from the barrio, you know.
Hey, you guys in your goddamn lower 48. I'm fucking cold. I had to put my fucking coat on, man. Thank you very much,
I
man.
had no
There you
coat on.
go, man. That's fucking awesome. Fucking
Yeah.
Ed. That's cool.
Oh, once again, Colin is gonna have problems.
That's
with
epic.
it.
You look like you're ready for a suicidal tendency video.
Right?
You betcha.
Good dance.
They're fucking with me subliminally.
That's a good
There you
dance.
go.
Yeah.
Go skating.
There you are.
You can't
Yeah,
bring
dude.
me down.
You just
Hang
need to
loose,
turn that
brother.
ball cap halfway to the
Put a
side. here.
skateboard in his hand, dude. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, I got that out of my shop. Let me go get
Yeah.
it.
Isn't this it's funny as hell how someone can wear the clothing just differently that quick, and it makes
'Cause
you
he's from
think something
Washington.
about
He's
him.
from out west. Ed's from out there, dude. He used to skateboard. And,
I grew up in the
Yeah.
barrio, essay.
yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I could go. I could go that. I can go that.
Oh, there you go.
What are you like?
We got Harley Davidson, the
Hey,
Marvel
hey,
Man,
what's
dude.
going on?
Yeah, the Marlboro man.
Ed
The
heads are
glasses mess up
Oh,
because
yeah.
I need my hat down far, so I gotta look up like this and
Put a guitar in his hand, dude. That'd be tight, dude. Yeah.
now I can't see but blur.
Oh, we
Oh,
know if the
I'll have
ghost
to
stuff
clip this
doesn't work.
tomorrow. I'll have to clip
That's
this
plan
picture
B,
of
man.
Ed tomorrow. I'll have to clip this picture. I have
That's
to.
our YouTube channel is plan B in case plan A don't work, dude.
There you go.
Everybody just flip the script, man.
Yo, hang loose, vatos.
Oh yeah, man.
What's that?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
The bones don't work no more.
Hey Ed, your arthritis is showing up with that.
Right?
Right?
That's it. The bones don't work no more. Yeah, I
That's
gotta-
right. Yeah, the fingers don't.
It's world famous. Hey, what the
You
hell?
go walk around all week like that. Start cramping up.
Hey, don't take this
Man, I
video
can't-
down until I clip a picture of Ed.
I can't bend my fingers that hard, man. Hey, Charlie, how you doing, man?
Good night,
Doing all right.
everybody. Thanks for
Right
the
on,
laugh,
brother.
Mr.
Night, Ed.
Loda.
Ray goes to Flash Bash. I'll go to Flash Bash. Me and Ray will go together.
God, I wish I could go. I wish I could go to Flash Bash. I really do.
Wish you could, and
That-
one
that
day,
would be
Ray,
so
you'll
much
get
fun.
there. You'll get there, buddy.
Sooner or
And
later.
you know what he's gonna
someday
say
I
next?
will get Flash Bash.
That's right. Maybe one day too, I'll meet Ray on the river.
Yeah.
And it's Daisy Dukes.
Later, Ed.
We're Daisy Dukes.
Nice meeting you, James.
Razy
None of them legs.
Yeah,
boy.
Raisy Dukes, man. Yeah, there's a big difference between
That's
Daisy.
funny.
I don't
Uh,
get the bigger Daisy
Yeah.
ever had.
Rock Butcher,
Great,
nice meeting you.
guys.
Thank you
Gotta
for
run.
hanging out
It
in my
looks like
live
James is
stream.
gonna pass out too.
Pleasure meeting you too.
Yeah.
I see James.
Good night,
James getting
guys.
ready to pass
Enjoyed
out too. So.
Good night, James.
Night, James.
Have a good
Heavy
night. Good night, James.
Meadow, Charlie, Mr. Lodak, Randy, Scotty, Tony.
Hey,
not to
James,
be
God bless
confused
you,
with
buddy.
Right
Scotty,
on, bro.
Have a
Tony.
good evening.
James, extend that sluice, man. Do what you got to do, but I would run all fine mat, like for fine gold. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
extend. Go for it. Test it out, man. You won't know until you try it.
Those Nelson bowls are like $1,800, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Newsom bowls are pretty expensive.
Yeah, but they work like a fucking charm.
They
I
do
never-
work good. I gotta say, I found zero gold in the tail.
Ray, can you pull one of those up on like a
You can
stream?
you can actually tune them. We used them on a job where
What Parker had, man.
we weren't looking for gold.
In
We
the
were looking
beginning.
for garnets. Okay, we were doing
Uh.
diamond exploration, Ray, and you can actually tune that Nelson bowl
Yeah.
to spit out and keep the garnets. And so the amount of tuning that you can
Right.
do on it is
Right.
really fine. It's really good.
They
Big
do
suction cup
work.
in there.
The only thing I got, like I said, the only problem I got with the Newsom bowl is if you want to run pure yardage all day long, I mean, as much yardage, a Newsom bowl will not handle that many yards.
Parker
It
tried
depends.
it, remember?
It depends on what you got. When I worked at the Red Lake mine, we went through crusher, grinder, cross shaker tables into Nelson bowls, and then into flotation. And we were running 400 tons a day. So
That's a lot. That's a
you
lot.
can actually buy. I mean, Nelson sells
400
lots of
tons a
different.
day is a lot.
You can buy lots of different sizes of those
Well,
things.
Seemed like
the
it'd
one
be
that Russ
worth it.
Rifle had, one Russ Rifle has probably, and actually, I'll probably end up with it myself. It's about at the top, about a 4.5, maybe 5 foot, maybe even 6 foot diameter, and then it funnels down to,
Okay, that's even bigger than the one I used for exploration.
And where
The
that
one that
dude's at,
the one that we had at the top was probably 2 foot across.
where do you say he was? North Carolina or North? That's big goat. That's nice. That's actually big goat in that area, man.
But see, with that damn Nutsa bowl, I mean, realistically, he had to be very careful of what was feeding into it and how much he was feeding into it.
That's the
Because
point.
then
Like-
it would just start. Then it'd just be a big mud slurry in there,
Gotta be
Exactly.
clean.
and it wasn't working.
That's the point. It's not your primary separator of your minerals. You want to run your sluice first, or your shaker table, or whatever first, and then you want to run the Nelson on what comes off of that
Yeah.
after you've classified it, right? So get your oversize off, and all you're putting through there is your slimes, and then run the Nelson on your slimes. It's a secondary thing. It's not a be
Not a
all and end
primary,
all.
not a
Yeah,
primary.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, check
And
out the one
that's
that
what it's there
I
for.
that I put in the chat there. Mike Pung worked on a really big one. He was on Dave Turn's Lost Mine, and he had this thing installed. It's like a huge one.
Yeah, but him and Jeff Williams, right? Mike Pung
No.
and Jeff Williams.
No, Mike Pung and Dave Turn on Dave Turn's
Oh.
Lost Mine.
Oh,
So I put the link in the description in the chat there. So he had it on his. He was on. Let's see. I don't know. He had it there for a while, but it wasn't. I don't know. He asked him to take it down. I guess it wasn't like really catching all that much or something like that. So he was working with Dave Turn. Mike Pung was there where they're making the show and everything for quite a while.
I don't see
In
your.
the beginning, Parker used two of
Sure.
them at his at that place,
Yeah.
man, and he put.
Yeah, I
them
was
in-
talking to Mike Pung directly. He was telling me all about how he had it up there with Dave Turn and they were filming the show and everything. And he was there for a couple of weeks, but I guess it just wasn't really catching all that much, or there just wasn't much small gold in that place.
I was telling the guys earlier on tonight, the guys from the people from Dave Turn's TV show actually reached out to me and tried to recruit me for this season's episode, and I waved off. Waved off, but I did.
Why'd you do that?
You should have went with
because-
it.
Win.
No way, man, because I'm a professional in the industry, and the last
What's up,
thing I
Alan?
need
I just now seen
is
you.
for history TV to paint me as some kind of idiot or prima
Yeah,
donna,
that's true. That's a good
and
point.
that's the end of my fucking career. So
Nah, they don't show you as an idiot. If you watch a show, they never like pose people as idiots, but they come and help. They do say, hey, this should be done, this should be done. And then they
That's-
come.
if they wanted me to go and do that, I would have. But what they were looking for was a guy that was going to directly work with Dave to actively scout, actively find new places, say, this is where you should mine. This is where you should do this. This is where you should do that.
Hanging your ass out there in the air too far.
Precisely. Yeah. No, and I mean, I'm no fucking fool.
Without
you know, how-
testing, you don't know.
That's it. I can give you my opinion, but that, and like I say to everybody, I say, this is my educated opinion, and I think you got a pretty good chance here. But that and $1.50 will get you a small coffee at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, let's go look at it together. But yeah, no, I wasn't willing to do that. So
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because the people that I work for up in Chicken on that 10-inch there, they really wanted to go up there, and they were in the talks for like forever. They really, really wanted to get up there. But he was same thing. He was terrified that they're going to come up there and make fun of him and freaking say because he built his whole system, you know.
Mhm.
So he was just terrified. Oh, they're going to come up here and make fun of me and say my stuff's crap and blah blah blah. So he didn't do it either.
Yeah, those folks have a good thing going up there in Chicken also.
I
I've
tell you
never
what,
watched anyone go up there and not get good
TV
gold.
crews can.
Oh yeah, no,
The thing about it is, and Brian, you know this as well as I do, TV crews can fuck you.
yeah, they're actually they were more afraid about the legal kind of stuff because they're in like a corridor, like a wildlife corridor,
Yeah,
and so it's a federal like place where you're not allowed to dredge, but the state says you can dredge in the river. So on the sides of the river, you're not allowed to touch, but the river itself, you're allowed to dredge per state
Right.
Alaska laws. But it's this whole grandfathered continuum where it's like all gray, and so they were
that's the Alaska state law. And our current governor, who's a Republican, is actually back. He's actually fighting the federal government right now here in Juneau, because the federal government here in Juneau says you can only canoe or use a electric boat to cross the goddamn Mendenhall Lake to get to the glacier.
right.
And Governor Dunleavy's like, fuck you. If it's actually any ground under navigable waterways in Alaska is open to the public.
Right.
You cannot close it off to only tourism. Or close it off, period. You cannot close it off, period.
Right.
Our
Yeah,
governor's
there's a big fight with like the waterways. So Alaska's fighting, saying our waterways are our water. They're not federal waterways. They're state
they're not
waterways.
federal waterways. They're the Alaska
So
state waterways.
They're stepping up and like saying
Yeah.
F you Fed, saying these are our waterways, not federal. So
Yeah, that one old boy got in it was a huge lawsuit, went all the way to the Supreme Court. He was using a hovercraft to go up a river.
right.
And the EPA, they spanked him. They threw him in jail. Threw him in jail. And he took the whole goddamn thing all the way to the Supreme Court. It's like, no, state of Alaska says that is navigable waterways. I have a hovercraft. I can be on the water and I can go up that fucking river.
Yeah.
To get to my mining claim. And actually, he was hunting. Where he got busted, he was hunting. He was not mining, he was hunting.
Doesn't matter as long as he's hunting on public land. He can still access the waterway. It's
Right.
navigable rights. Same in
That's
Canada.
where the feds busted him, and the state of Alaska said, oh no. You are not allowed to bust state of Alaska, resident for going up that river. You can't do that.
Yeah.
What
He's
was
a
their
state of
reason
Alaska
behind it? I
resident.
mean,
He can go up that river if he wants to, and to go hunting if he wants to. He was
what
hunting.
was their reason for
moose.
busting him, Ray?
It's probably
Was it
like
fish
national.
spawning, or what kind of rule did he break?
It's
If
probably like a
legal.
national park or national like forest area where
Right, it was a national forest area that you were not
Right.
allowed to have any motorized vehicle.
Right. So that's kind of like the thing in Chicken there. It's like a national corridor, which is federal. So the federal
Right.
government, you're not supposed to do motorized crap on this land, but
Right,
it's an Alaskan state waterway.
exactly. And
Right.
Alaska
So
State
when
said,
I was actually up there, the federal government actually showed up unannounced. They just showed. I mean, we're 17 miles down the damn river in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, and two people and like all their fucking reflective shit, and they're like all from the government, and they just walked right in like they own the place, and it's a camp, and I guess they do because it's on the federal ground is where the campground is, but they're grandfathered in to have
Right.
that. So they just walked in and were like complaining about, gas cans, over here and this, that. And I mean, it sucks. It's a big freaking battle always going on,
it really is. It's a huge battle. But
All about
Dunleavy,
control.
our current governor is saying, like, no,
Right.
if it's water, that belongs to the state of Alaska.
Right.
all
Yeah.
water, all waterways belong to the state of Alaska. I don't care if it's on federal land or not. That's Alaska water.
Yep. Yep.
And
So that's kind of like what's going on now and up there in Chicken. It's and it holds true to today that the waterway you can dredge in it because that's the state of Alaska. And the state of Alaska says you can dredge that and it's no problem. You can dredge your brains out if you want. That's our waterway, our gold, our go dredge in the national forest. It's fine because that's our waterway, not national forest.
And if you go over 40 ounces a year, you have to pay a 2% royalty to the state of Alaska.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah. If you go over 40 ounces a year,
Damn.
a 2% royalty goes to the state of Alaska.
I never heard of that. We went way over that amount. We never paid anything.
All right.
So you get
All
5
right.
friends and you guys go out 5
Anything-
different
anything
times
over-
to the same
anything
location.
Over 40 ounces a year is actually a state royalty. Supposedly, according to the original, the old original rules,
Who do you pay it to?
state of Alaska,
Be to the government. Yeah.
Department of Revenue.
Like you're supposed to like hand them a vial of gold, like at the
Yeah,
Or
pretty
you
much.
go to the bank and
Pretty
just
much.
go to the
it-
bank and do
gold
a
is-
direct
Gold
transfer.
is currency. You can pay them in gold. Gold is
Yeah.
currency.
Yeah.
Gold is considered currency still.
I don't think anyone
in
follows that
Alaska.
The mining companies do.
You're gonna see Brian's gonna be like,
Yeah.
F you, man. This is me gold.
Come get it.
Yeah,
bitch.
get me gold.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the mining
Get my
companies do.
gold.
I'll bet they do. Rock Butcher's right.
You
Green
have
Creek
to because
Mine,
Eventually you're gonna get
Henderson,
busted.
if they
Hecla,
bust you on it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're going out there all the
If
time.
you're
gonna
up
get
front
hit.
with them, and say, look, I
Yeah.
now have 42 ounces. Here is.
Then they become your buddies and they leave you
3%
alone.
of 2 ounces. I'm
Then they
paying
leave
this.
you alone.
Here is 3% of 2 ounces.
Yeah.
And-
Not only that, but they'll once they're aware of that because now you're paying taxes, they'll you'll come on the radar and you'll have government geologists that maybe they're doing a study out in that area and they invite them out. Let's come
Right.
on, bring them out, and maybe they can work with you.
And
and stuff
they'll
like that.
actually help you find more gold. They will
Exactly.
actually help you find more
Exactly.
You
gold.
do your
Yeah.
clean outs on the river, you dig a hole in the ground, dude. You pour your goat in there, only take a little bit back, cover it up with a
See,
rock,
that's where
come
I
back for later.
got my dredging permit in Montana Creek. I had the very first dredging permit in Montana Creek since 1981. 1981 was the last dredging permit for a 5-inch dredge on Montana Creek. And what was that, 2007?
Sarah.
And I actually had the state of Alaska employees, Fish and Game, and Department of Minerals actually videoing me to actually prove how far my, what do they call that, turbidity, how far my turbidity went down the river. They were broadcasting what my turbidity was and everything. And fuck that, I was golden. I allowed them to be out there and hang out with me, and they fucking were helpful as shit.
I thought you didn't need a permit for anything under 6 inches in Alaska.
You actually have to file a permit if it's a salmon navigable river.
Oh, a salmon river. Yeah.
If it's a salmon river, and then they give you they tell you when, their state biologists will tell you when the salmon are in that river.
Yeah.
And you get about a month and a half long window. Now, because they figure, okay, all the fry have gone to the ocean and the salmon have not came up here to spawn.
What?
So you're not actually disturbing any of the previous year spawning or the new year spawning that's about to begin.
Yeah.
And you're actually creating a spawning habitat. So it actually works out pretty slick, but it only gives you in a salmon river. In a salmon river, it only gives you about 1 month. It was handier than shit. I enjoyed it. I worked together with the state of Alaska to get that permit. and they want to know you exactly. They don't care how far your dredging area is. Okay, I'm going to start here and I'm going to go all the way up to here. I said, sure. And they'll come up there and they'll check your equipment. And well, maybe they will, but I invited them to come up and check my equipment. And I invited them to go ahead and film it and do studies, you know, catching little bugs and everything behind my dredge. And it was a really cool year, really cool experiment. I didn't get shit for gold, but it was
Yeah,
kind of fun to work with
Raising
State of
Dukes.
Alaska.
Come check
Yeah.
my equipment, man.
Yeah, I know. I can speak to Alaska. I can speak to the Yukon and Ontario, Manitoba provinces in Canada, and definitely if you get the opportunity to work with the government, they are there.
They are
Because-
there. I mean,
Because at the end of the day, they're hoping that you find something so big that it's going to bring in tax profits for the government.
exactly.
And that's it. They are there to help you.
Well, if you
Develop a
actually
mine.
brought in if you actually found big gold, they're actually banking on the idea that you won't claim it and they will sell that gold to somebody.
That's when you just keep floating right. You leave it
Right.
right in the water and you float
No.
right over it, but you know where to come back later
No,
on.
no, it's no, man. It's like there's nothing wrong with dealing on the state or provincial government level with
It's best to
the
do that anyway.
mining organization. You got to do it
You get to
because
know
they're there to help you, and you'd be amazed at the amount of information that they have, and that they can.
Yeah, if you're
They can
nice to
supply
them,
to you.
they'll be nice to you.
Yeah,
people.
it's funny as hell too. You could tell when the government geologists show up, because there'll be this like really clean truck shows up in the mine site, and these guys will get out and they'll be wearing these cruiser vests that they still have pleats in them and everything, because they've just taken them out of the plastic pack, you know, and everything's fucking brand new. You know, they got these brand new rock hammers
Some
and
new
everything on them.
guys.
And yeah, they come up here. And, hey,
Greenhorns by the book.
I'm Dr. So and so. It's like, okay, so you spent 8 years university, but how much time you spent in the field? Well, this is my first year.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
You did 8 years of school to learn that when I spent 5 hours on YouTube and learned it faster?
No, that's it. That's it.
I'm YouTube certified.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
I told them doctors with my dad, dude. The machine wasn't moving. So I went over and got the name, looked it up, YouTubed it, and he heard me doing all this. And I'm supposed to say, sir, it's not moving. And here's how he said, what, you watch a YouTube video? I wish they wouldn't have put them on there. I said, why? Because it took you 8-10 years and how much money to learn this stuff? And I learned it in 5 minutes. You know what I mean, dude?
Hey, we need guys like Jim, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, Randy, if you think you can learn on YouTube in 5 minutes what I've learned in 32 years, I will shake your fucking hand.
Right, right.
No,
I do a lot of stuff, man. Not
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Geology
I tell you what, I do a
that's
lot
another
of stuff.
subject.
I've known
I
a lot of body, man. I've known a lot of body.
do a lot of different jobs daily. Put it that way.
Well, a body man on daily jobs don't make a geologist.
No, it don't. It don't.
No.
I mean, as much as everybody badmouthed Ellie, she tried, but I don't think she was a geologist. She knew some, but she had no gold fever.
I guarantee if I would have picked this up 20 years ago, this whole gold mining and geologist thing, I would have been mastermind by now, because that's what I do. Everything that I get into, I don't care if I'm racing cars, building race cars for my kids, playing the drums in the band. Dude, I'm constantly, you should see the jobs I do. And I'm just a nobody with no graduation, no high school diploma. I've worked on O'Hare Airport on the runway with nothing. I'm doing commercial fittings right now, dude. I'm in places that be tripped. Why am I even in here? And I'm wrenching, I'm doing hot water tanks, broilers, big old huge ones.
But
You
you
know what I
learn
mean?
all the way along the way.
I'm
right?
not scared, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
learn all the way along the
You
way.
know, and I do my homework before I even go out and do this. Now I do a lot of homework, man. I'm not gonna go out. Oh yeah, I know.
He said doo doo.
I do a lot of homework
He
before I
said
go out
doo-doo?
and actually do it. I guarantee. I'm already going to know where the part's at, know what to change. Then I'm gonna have the part with me.
Hey, Ray, I'll tell you about Ellie there. When I saw her manicured fingernails and her dyed hair, and the clothes she was wearing, I knew automatically. Like, I have a tremendous amount of respect for women that work in my field because it is still very much a men-dominated field.
It is.
And when you do meet a girl of your age, in that field, she's probably twice the geologist or 3 times the geologist that you are.
Yeah.
Simply because she's had to haul herself up by her bootstraps, whereas I've kind of carried forward,
Right.
And like
She's
the girls,
got some, but at the same time, she fucking
flirted
plays
her way
the
up.
lady game.
well,
Put it that
that's
way.
all I'm saying. I just want to say that the girls I know, they're all lovely people and they're wonderful women and they're very, very smart geologists. But they don't paint their nails. They all cut their nails short. They pull their
They
hair
all got
back.
broken
They
nails.
pull their hair back in a scrunchie, and they
And their
wear
boots are dirty.
the same. They wear the same kind of clothes. Yes, their boots are dirty. Their pants.
Their
are
nails
dirty.
will be cracked and
And
broken.
yeah, and they get right in there just like you and I do, and those
Yeah.
are the good ones.
It was
We were
difficult.
talking.
I tell you what, I tried hard. I tried hard. And actually, I believe I succeeded because I didn't know if I was going to find any gold. I didn't know if I would find any gold. It was a gamble.
Mm.
I found some.
It always is.
I mean, it's truly a big gamble.
It
But
always is. Yeah.
I agree. I just
Um,
the same thing.
is there major lode there? I still can't answer that to yes. Is there gold there? I can answer that to yes.
Sure. Yeah.
I know there's gold there. I found gold there. Is there better concentrations of gold in different areas? Odds are yes. The odds are in my favor. Is there enough gold to make it a viable mine? I have no fucking clue.
Not without actually doing drill samples and actually doing more testing in areas.
And lots of
That's
tests.
the thing.
Lots of tests.
Can I get the gold in Greenland? Even though if I find it, do they have the equipment? And like you said, if they have hard to find, it's different from here than out there. You can't go to the hardware store. So can I get the gold? Actually,
I think Alexander.
They only got what, one excavator?
If I could identify the area, the depth and the type of gold material, then yes, Alexander can make a viable mine in Greenland. He has enough government help to help him do it.
Mhm.
But is it there? And can we find it? I don't know.
The
Know
thing
where
is,
to stop.
the best way to find it, once you remember the other day we were talking about, I told you to look for the nick point, and it's something you kind of got to survey in, and it takes a bit of math. And there could be several nick points in a river where the velocity slows enough to start dropping. The gold,
Right.
you know.
But
And
until we found those
I've
areas,
seen that
until you
back
find it,
we
and
would
then
have no idea.
once you found it, you have to test pit the shit out of that area. And it excavator, geologist, pans, and you know, pans are probably the poorest way to check it. You know, dig a test pit and then just pan it and see what we get.
Yep.
You could
You gotta
okay, I
do
got
that.
7 colors in this one, I got 8 colors in that one. A fire assay would probably be better, but you could do it. And I've told guys, like, I've had all kinds of clients come to me with with placer properties, and we want to do this, we want to do that, and I tell them like this is the best way to do it. And you almost get to a mining stage where you've almost test pitted so much of it that you're mining it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I tell all of them, I say, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, it's Mother Nature. It's the shape of the bedrock. We don't know the shape of the bedrock, and so
until
at
you
the end of the
actually learn
day,
until you learn it, you don't know.
Right,
that's it.
years,
And,
Ray.
you know,
Or
like
Greenland.
2 years, 3 years from now, when we've mined this entire package out, and we're all sitting around the picnic table having supper one night and drinks, that's when you're going to actually know if it was a good decision or not. And you know, it's a tough one.
It is.
Here's
It's
the
not
thing,
like
you can
hard-
be on
it's-
it. You can
Gold
hit it
mining
hard.
is a gamble. Yeah, I think
It's not.
Tony's,
It's not like hard rock mining. Hard rock mining, I could tell you to the dollar how much you're going to get.
right. But for placer mining, it's a guess. It's a
That's it.
gamble.
And it can
Exactly.
stop anytime.
That's it.
It could be hot for hours or days, and the next thing you know
So,
it.
that's where, I mean, we have, and thankfully we do, you know, Tony Swiftwater there in Arizona. He's showing us that dry washing, but at the same time, it's still a huge gamble. Swiftwater's putting a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to learn Arizona and learn how to dry wash. It just, you know, it's a gamble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't want to put too much on because I know we're YouTube live, but Rob's struggling a little bit, so I helped him out last night.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
According to
I
Heavy Meadow,
know.
there's no gold in Arizona. Like why are people looking?
Or Utah. Either
Or
state.
Utah. That's right.
All the
Well,
girls
guys,
are Ray's
guys,
guys,
Yeah, Jim, yeah, like you mentioned earlier.
Everybody go to Ray's house. Hurry.
What was it that Jim mentioned earlier? He said the Skinwalker, and I said, yeah, that's in Utah. It's right next to the Blind Frog Ranch,
Okay.
You guys are bad people, mean.
and there's no gold in Utah.
Yeah. Oh well.
You're probably
Well,
no frog ranch
reports are
either.
saying no gold in the
Skinwalkers,
last-
and we got
No.
skinwalkers and blind
Nope.
frogs.
The only reason he wants to say there's no gold there is so the rest of us don't bother going prospecting on his
Well,
potential.
guys, I
sites,
hate
you
to
know?
say it, but I just got dinged and my dinner's about done.
It's booby
And,
time.
It's the first time I've gone YouTube live in a long time. Thanks, guys, for hanging out.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
And he
you
went
can,
later
you
tonight.
can make me host if you want to kill YouTube. Oh shit! I
Kill
don't,
you too.
last time we did that, it didn't work out well.
It didn't work out well. But we probably
It
gonna have
ended
to
up
go ahead
being
and close this out,
aliens and we cussed. and-
If you guys are on GPS, we'll just start a new Zoom and something like that. If you guys want.
By the way, Ray's new thing, as soon as I can figure out a video fucking editing thing, is more than just a pan.
Ray, I need the link for that pan.
It's more than just a pan.
More
I
than
mean,
this pan.
as
That's the
soon as I
name.
can figure out, I've got to get a new video editing. I need to figure out how to edit videos somehow, some
You
way.
just gotta ask me nice and stop calling.
You mean
Or
like
stop making jokes about my
You gotta get
sisters,
back
and I'll help you
into it,
out.
Ray.
use it as a
Now
dog
get
dish?
back into it.
What do you mean more than just
Whatever.
a pan?
Anyhow, I'm stupid. I can't figure out the new video editing thing, but I want to do a series about more than just a pan.
What do you mean? Like it's a dog dish or
And actually, if you guys want to chip in on more than just a pan, you're more than welcome to. But
Ray's got an
that's my new thing. I want to try
That's our
As
logo.
soon as I can figure out a video editing program, I mean.
So you're
more
saying
than-
it's not just a cereal bowl?
what's the
Yeah, we're
sales?
gonna
pitch?
make 100 t-shirts tomorrow. Just more than just a pan. Who's got the hat?
more than just a pan.
Hear the sales pitch.
Brian's got the cigar. Start labeling them.
But
Well, I've been
before you,
trying to- I've
That's
been
just the
trying to
logo.
do
You haven't
sales
actually
pitches
figured out
with
a sticker, though.
for years.
Right.
hey Ray,
See, I try to help the guy out, and he fucking talks about my
You can make him a
sisters.
millionaire by tomorrow. By
hey,
Bitcoin.
Ray, before you go, the guys I was on live with a bunch of other guys there a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about seasoning pans, and it brought my mind all the way back to when I was 91, when I was a brand new geologist, and I had my first gold pans that I bought from the hardware store in Dawson City, Yukon. And the guys there in the camp, they told me you got to season those pans.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. How do I do this? And they
Barbecue
said, well,
sauce.
you just throw them on the bonfire. Like at the end of the day, when the bonfire was just down to red embers, you just toss them
Like
on
you're on a skillet.
face down, and it blues them. You know, it's like blue backing a knife
Right.
or whatever. If you're doing,
I know what it does.
Forging, right?
Like
And-
sterilizer barbecue.
they said, yeah, no. And then and that's it. You've seasoned your pan. Okay. The
Yep.
next morning you go out, you take your pan off, and it's all blue and red and beautiful colors. But the gold stands right out against it, against the steel, you know, and you burned off all the grease or whatever.
oils. Yeah.
So then, yeah, like I was saying a couple of weeks ago, somebody was asking, how do you season this pan? And so I told him, I said, well, just chuck it on the fire, you know. And they're like,
Oh, was
no,
it
no, Rock.
what's his name?
We're-
What's his name, Colin?
we're
Secret Creek, Kirk.
maybe we're talking about a plastic pan here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh
That's
my
what I was
God.
gonna
Put
say,
his in
I bet
the
it's
oven,
plastic.
how do you season a plastic pan? Jesus Christ. I don't know. Give it a rub with some Dawn dish soap, maybe.
Nope.
And,
Yeah, you clean it
Nope.
up with some Dawn dish soap and then just
Nope.
use gravels from prospecting and let it.
Yep, just
let
go
it
out
season
there and use the
itself.
gravels, man.
Yeah,
Hell no.
Charles. Yeah,
Jesus.
Charles. But
You don't
Secret
even need no
Creek
Dawn.
Kirk, he fucking put it in the oven.
Just
Yeah.
take it to
Well,
the
he was
creek,
trying
throw
to
it in
dry
the river.
gold. He was trying to dry gold.
trying
That's
to
what it was.
dry the gold out.
Well,
yeah.
either way, I mean, that's
And
not a
he's
smart
not the
move.
only one who's done
Use it
that
like
too. Vendetta's
sandpaper,
done it as
all the
well.
sand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vendetta did it too. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Vendetta did it too because he gave away some
See,
of those.
we shouldn't be
pieces as
YouTube
Patreon
live
prizes.
right now. We shouldn't be YouTube live. We should be
People-
private Zoom.
I see people using sandpaper and stuff and Brillo pads. All you're
Well,
doing is
oh, yeah,
you're
that's
doing-
the way-
you're doing
that's a good
groove
way.
I'm
over
gonna
it.
be my darling wife's dinner that she actually made for me with a couple more shots of homemade Baileys. And I want to
See?
thank you all
You're
for
about
joining me tonight.
you're almost halfway
and,
through it.
we're gonna
We can
go
stick
ahead
a
Oh, yeah,
sticker
yeah,
on
we're
that,
going to
that
end it.
mug
We're going to
right
go
there.
on to GPS if you guys want to
Chug it, Ray. Chug it.
get back in. If you guys want to get back in
whiskey,
on
Ray.
GPS with the
No,
new
fuck that.
Zoom
I'm not
link.
gonna.
Roger, I'll
this
follow
shit's
you
full
there.
of Jameson's. This is.
You coming,
Chug it and then do some motorboat.
Charlie, you gonna come?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there you
gonna
go.
All right, we'll see you.
Hey,
in a
Carl,
gotta-
you need to
Just
get with
go
Ray
and-
tomorrow night, man. Show him the
Motorboat.
program.
Okay,
I'm in the
gonna go
process
ahead
of,
and
like,
end- I'm
rearranging
gonna
gold
go ahead and
too.
end this feed.
Later
All
on, Ray.
right, go
Night,
ahead.
bye.
Night, Ray.
friend.
We'll continue on GPS.